What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. How's everybody doing? Let me tell you something, man. Um, well, first off, I want to say from my heart to yours, man, I love you all. And whoever has subscribed, commented, liked, shared, done it all, just giving your energy to the channel goes a long way. And you don't even realize how many people you're actually impacting by doing that. So I want to send my love and my healing to all of you who have subscribed and commented and shared and liked, because you're helping the channel grow and you're helping us get these videos out to people that need them and need these messages, just like what happened to me today. I stumbled upon somebody I watched for a long time, and the message hit home so hard, and I'm truly grateful for them standing in their power and their truth and speaking their mind on YouTube, because if they didn't, I wouldn't have stumbled on that video, or that video wouldn't have found me with the message that I needed. And it happened to me 3 times today. 2 different YouTubers, and but 3 different messages, and man, did it hit home. It went like this. It went from like a domino effect, from like one to the next to the next, and each one of them had this profound message that I've been waiting to hear and needing to hear, to kind of come full circle with what I've been experiencing majority of my life, and over the last 5 years at least. I would say even longer than that, probably 2014, 2015, maybe even sooner than that. Actually, probably sooner than that. The gaslighting and all kinds of things that I experienced, but I'm starting to realize that these things had to happen, because before I get into this, let me draw a card from the Harmony Tarot deck. I really didn't want to stop because it's really coming through, and I just want to draw a card for everybody, for the collective. See what you get from it. See if it resonates with you. See if there's a message in one of these cards, Spirit, for somebody that's watching this video. And oh, we got something, guys. Actually, the top one. I'm going to go with the top one, which is... We'll go with both, okay? Because both really want to come out of the deck. And somebody needs this message. The first card that was drawn was the Magician. What a badass looking card, by the way, man. I'm going to definitely have to shout out this artist who I bought the cards from. But that's the Magician, guys. And then the next card that popped out was the King of Wands. Another badass looking card. Somebody needed these messages, and I sure did. But so those are the 2 cards. I hope you got something out of it. Getting back to the video, as you know, this is hard to say without getting kind of emotional, but it needs to happen, and I need to express myself in this way because somebody needs to hear it. But majority of my life, I know this is kind of a new terminology, gaslighting, but majority of my life I was gaslit. And I started to realize, I'm gonna just say one thing and then I'm gonna backtrack. But this YouTuber that I'm listening to, that had a message for me clearly, basically stated that my guides and angels have been working on my solar plexus. Okay, and it's interesting because I've been doing a guided meditation and Reiki, but a guided meditation for weeks on end, and it had to do with paying attention to the chakras being opened and which ones I was guided to. And interestingly enough, right away I was guided to the solar plexus multiple times, multiple days, multiple weeks. Not only that, but I was also guided to the heart chakra, but more so the solar plexus. And if you know the solar plexus and what that entails, has a lot to do with worthiness and self-worth and knowing your value and your worth. And that is something that I needed to heal, and I've been needing to heal for years and years. Well, I mean, it all went back. It all goes back to like even when I was born, when I came out of the womb, and little by little, my self-confidence and my self-worth began to get just pummeled. And I remember I got left back in second grade. And I remember telling my parents how upset I was about that and how they left me back. And it really bothered me in my years of high school and middle school, because that's when I was really affected by the fact that I couldn't graduate with the class of people that I wanted to graduate with, that I was supposed to graduate with, if I didn't get left back. And I'm actually getting chills throughout my body as I'm telling you about this, because I really believe that this is time that this comes out. And it really bothered me, and I mentioned it multiple times to my father. And over the years, how upset I was that I was left back. And this happened, I would venture to say, like in high school, like going into college. And it really affected me as a kid to be the only one that couldn't graduate and had to be left back, because, mind you, when I was young, I had a very difficult time comprehending anything. I would read, and I wouldn't comprehend it. I wouldn't understand it. And it took me a very long time. It took me literally probably in my 20s and 30s, my late 20s into my 30s, to finally start being able to read and comprehend it, actually comprehend it and understand what I was reading. It took me most of my life to get to that point. And interestingly enough, when I hit rock bottom 2 different times, the worst 2 different times is what I'm getting at, because it happened many more times as I grew up. But the 2 major times as an adult was 2017 and 2020. And that led me onto the journey of reading and getting more into reading. And now I can pick up a book and I can read it and I can feel good about reading it, because I actually understand and comprehend what I'm reading. And I didn't then. And when I was into the IT stuff, and I've had this IT business for over 20 years now, but I've gradually kind of pulled away from it, so to speak. I've noticed when I was trying to do like the certifications and you had to read like a page-long question, I literally couldn't understand it. And even in high school and middle school, I had to be read to, because I was in slow learning disability classes, SLD. And I even went to a special school in New Jersey for slow learning disability, where we had one teacher all day long. We weren't mainstreamed, where we went to like each English class, then science class, and then they were different teachers. I didn't experience that. I experienced one teacher for everything. And so I had the same kids in the class with me all day. We didn't shift. And which kind of made it weird as I walked around the school, because when I went to high school, that school also had SLD integrated into the regular school. So kids would be wondering why I didn't go, but only certain classes I did go switch to and have a different teacher. But majority, I was in the same teacher the whole day, and kids would make fun of you. They would see it. They would see that you're in the same grade, but you're not switching classes or going in the classes they're in. It's like, so it kind of made you feel isolated or alone or by yourself. And that led me to a lot of isolation and a lot of not being able to make friends. Not only that, what hit me really deep in this video I was listening to switch back to that real quick, is that she said that you're one of those people that have a very small circle of friends, and they're very you keep a very close circle, and you don't have many that you open up or trust. You keep a very close circle, and that is true. And not that there's that many in that close circle, but what also she said is a lot of people, because I've noticed myself wanting to find people that I can connect with on a deep level, even somebody I'm dating romantically. I want to be able to have a relationship with somebody I can connect on a deep level, not just where you're talking about surface level. And what I'm starting to understand now is the people that I had a lot of difficulty with, or blowouts with, or just not being on the same page or in alignment, or even just people that I felt like I was talking to a wall with. They don't want to go deep because they don't want to be broken open. And apparently people like me who shine this light and want to go deep, when I approach somebody that doesn't want to do that, they repel from that, or they lash out, or they react in ways kind of to push me away, because the type of energy that I bring, and the words when I speak, it cracks somebody open. And mostly people don't want to go there. And I'm starting to hear that a lot in a lot of communities that I belong to that are self-improvement related. I've mentioned a few that I'm a part of on this channel in different videos, but I've heard that they don't want to go there. And now it's kind of making sense. And I know, and let me just say that what was really interesting and hit home, and I'm not going to talk about in depth who and the situation at hand, but I'm going to just kind of like, I don't want to get into that right now. That's not what this video is about. Again, that will be for another time. But I want to just say that she said that there's a situation where somebody does a lot of fixing in the external world. They know how to fix things very easily in a lot of different ways and a lot of different things. And they tend to fix a lot of things in the external because it's kind of an avoidance of fixing within. And I've had multiple people where I've had difficulty just in general. And I noticed that when I tried to talk with several of these people, they would kind of like slowly inch towards the door, and they would show no emotion, and I would be bawling and there would be no emotion. And I would be like putting everything out there on the table and my heart out, and I'm noticing, I'm even thinking about, I just thought about a relationship I was in back in 2015. And I remember how major that affected me. And I remember being in the gym on my knees crying, bawling in the gym. And I remember bawling on the phone to her. And she just, like, nothing fazed her. It did not faze her. And I'm starting to realize that it's a wall, or it's a defense mechanism where they don't want to go there. And supposedly, the way I am and the way I've been, I have this talent or this ability that to be able to crack people open. And it kind of like they divert from it or they run from it. And I'm like the chaser and they're the runner. And whether it be relationships, romantically, family, friends, I'm noticing, like, as I'm recording this video, I'm starting to think more and more about it. And like, this is like in almost every person around that was around me, I would want to have these deep conversations, and it was just like, it wasn't satisfying to me to just sit there and talk about surface level. It was like I was talking to a wall. It felt like that, where there was no engagement back. They weren't giving anything back. You were just speaking, and they were just like just a body there. And I'm starting to realize, after hearing that and after talking about it here and having the most of the day to reflect on it, that it's very hard to find those people that are willing to, I guess, allow you the space to crack them open like that. That a lot of people don't want to go there. And it's not for me to decide that and who that is. And that's why I have difficulty, like with the alignment of finding. It's been very hard to find people that that resonate with me or connect on that level with me. And I just got some more chills, man, massive chills. This is the right video for somebody, not only somebody listening, but also for myself. It's allowing me to hear myself and heal from it. And I'm realizing that what's happening is my spirit guides, my angels, my guardians, the spiritual realm is working on my solar plexus and healing the solar plexus. And I feel like every day as we go forward, I'm becoming more in my power and more with more self-worth and who I am and what I'm here to do. And she even mentioned about me talking like coaching. And that's essentially what I'm doing on this YouTube channel. I mean, and with people that I come across, I'm coaching them, but they don't even realize that I'm coaching them, nor do I realize I am. I just think I'm coming on here and serving my purpose and helping, but in actuality, there is a level of coaching, a level of what I've gone through and what it's taken me to get to this point. And I can tell you this right now, another thing that was mentioned was she said a lot of people that go through these really horrific hardships, okay, they chose it on a spiritual level because their soul wanted to transcend or evolve, or I forget the word that she used, but like kind of like what I mean by like level up really fast, like rapidly. So in order for you to do that, you go through these horrific challenges, and your soul literally transcends faster, or you essentially are able to. I've heard this also with Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon spoke a lot about this and how certain souls will choose certain bodies. Like for example, they'll choose somebody that is handicapped or blind or deaf or really, really challenging bodies that they have to go through in order to, essentially do what they would have to have done in like 4 to 5 lives or 10 lives they're doing in one life, and I've heard that now a multitude of times, and I watched my dad and I watched myself go through a lot of her. I mean, look, man, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I chose a really challenging life. So did my dad. On the external, somebody looking from the outside in, they would say, man, this dude has an easy life. Like they always say, like the grass is greener, but they don't know what you're going through internally. They don't know what you've experienced. I never, ever, ever will judge, or have I ever since I hit rock bottom in 2017, because I've realized my own self of what I've gone through internally and what people don't see on the inside and what they don't know from not walking in your shoes. And a lot of people will judge and say, well, man, this person has it all. And they don't know what that person went through and experienced. And then a lot of people will come out and say, well, our lives are very similar. Well, how do you know our lives are very similar? Did you walk in my shoes? Did you experience the hardships and the pain and the experiences that I experienced? How would you know that you walked? You can compare yourself and say that you have gone through what I've gone through, or we're very similar. And funny thing is, I had a lot of people that would say that over time. And funny funny thing is, I didn't even know myself. So how could you know me? You know? And I was saying that like a year ago. I'm like, man, I hear people just say, man, we're very similar. We have a lot, we have a lot alike. And I'm like thinking to myself, but you know what? I didn't even know myself. So how would you know me? You know? So, but what's ironic and what's funny about this whole thing and of what she came out with, it makes so much sense. And you see people that experience really horrific, like my dad, 4th-stage Hodgkin's lymphoma throughout his entire body, with a week to live, and then living 25 years later, the pain that he went through and what he endured. But then when he got on the other side to serve like he did, and standing in front of crowds and speaking and talking to every person he met on the street, no matter where they were. We sold something on those websites you meet people in person on, and he would be right away magnetized to them and talking about his health to them. For a while, we'd be standing there, and I'd hear him over and over and over again speaking about his journey and what he went through, and just helping and serving. And it's funny because that's where I'm leading. I'm coaching you on here. I'm teaching you every day things that I learn, things that are helping me, things that are changing my life, like the breath work and the Reiki and the yoga and the meditation and reading and getting in nature and following the breath and paying attention to your breath and your chest rising and falling, staying in the present moment, in the now, all these different things, because I experienced a lot of trauma growing up as a young kid, deaths as a young kid. The list goes on, but I realized that I chose it to ascend or allow my soul to grow even faster than it would have if I would